Aisha. Election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. The Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, SEMA, and AICPA together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, and Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service. Election headquarters is for an informed electorate. Please do stay for details. The Electoral Commission has revealed that more than 7,000 challenged cases of persons suspected to be foreigners, minors, and those with questionable residency status are currently under review before the challenge mechanism is put in place by the Commission. The legitimacy of those prospective voters, according to the Commission, have been challenged through the system created purposely to cure that illegality. This was revealed at a press conference by the Deputy Commissioner in charge of Operations, Mr. Samuel Tete, on Tuesday.
The Commission has noticed a disturbing trend that has to do with the registration of minors, foreigners, and persons who are suspected not to reside in the areas where they have registered.
Though the Commission could not disapprove the number of challenged cases, the challenge appears to be nationwide, with the Volta region leading with more than 1,000 challenged cases. Also, the Electoral Commission says allegations by Election Watch Ghana that it is undertaking covert registration exercise is baseless and has challenged them to provide evidence of the locations where the unlawful registration is taking place. The pushback on the allegation was issued by the Deputy Commissioner in charge of Operations, Mr. Samuel Tete again.
The attention of the Commission has been drawn to a press conference organized by a group called Election Watch Ghana, during which one Mark Ewuzi alleged that the Electoral Commission was using stolen biometric voter registration kits to register people secretly. The Commission urges the public to disregard these baseless and unfounded allegations, as they are without merit. 1. The Commission has never reported that biometric voter registration kits have been stolen. The Commission reported to the security agencies that 5 laptops were missing. The Commission informed all stakeholders about the missing laptops. Describing the missing laptops as BVRs is a deliberate attempt by certain groups to deceive the public in order to sustain their unfounded allegations.
I've been joined by Dr. Osai Kwapong. He's a CDD fellow in governance. Grateful for your time. I would also be joined later by Gilfred Esiama, who is the team lead for elections, anti-corruption and rule of law at CODEO, for some updates on the monitoring of the registration exercise. But right now, Dr. Osai Kwapong, more than 7,000 challenged cases of persons suspected to be foreigners, minors, and those with questionable residency status. What signal does this give to the upcoming election?
Shane, thank you. I think it's a very concerning report from the EC, because at the heart of an election that is supposed to be deemed free, fair, without any questions, at the heart of an electoral system that we can all trust and believe in, is who is on that voters register. You want to make sure that the integrity of the voters register is unquestionable. And so when the EC is seeing a number of, this number of cases that are being challenged on the basis of those 3 things, minors, foreigners, and residency status, I think it's very concerning. I hope that at the same time, it's also the process is such that it will be able to really establish that these are truly individuals who are not supposed to be on our register, right? Because you also don't want just the suspicion of you might not be an eligible voter to be the reason why one does not get on the roll if truly they are eligible to vote. But I think overall, even as the Deputy Commissioner said, this is very disturbing, and hopefully the administrative process of determining the true eligibility of those who are being challenged would help resolve this issue. Because again, you want a voters register whose integrity we can all vouch for, so that there are no questions ultimately about who is voting and not voting and the election outcome.
The matter, according to the EC, is under review before it can activate the challenge mechanism, it says, to deal with this. What's the danger if this is not thoroughly digged and dealt with, especially as the EC is confirming it's actually a nationwide problem?
I think two things would happen. If you don't confront it now, you may end up having a voters register with individuals who probably are not supposed to be on the voters register, thereby compromising the integrity of the register. But if you also do not deal with it in a timely and expeditious manner, you may also end up denying people who truly are citizens and have to be on the voters register and have to vote. So you want to make sure that the process is timely, the process is expeditious, so that between now and whenever all of these challenges are resolved, that those who are not supposed to be on, you've weeded them out, but those who are supposed to be on, but for some reason their eligibility was challenged, you've resolved it to ensure that you are also not denying them the right to vote in December.
Right, I'll have a hold because I've been joined by Gilfred Esiama of CODEO also. Gilfred, your people have been out there monitoring this exercise. What's your assessment of the registration exercise so far?
Recorded so many challenges with network and activation code. I think the days, especially the past few days, we realized that the process has gone on smoothly. In addition, I think what we are recording now, apart from the violent incidents that happened in certain areas across the country, we are seeing more challenge being registered by the various political parties, whether people are not qualified to register because they don't come from the area, or they suspect that some of them are also minors.
Are you satisfied with the EC's handling of some of these challenges being recorded at the centers, as you put it?
Well, so the Electoral Commission's mandate is to facilitate the process. So any qualified person, especially the party agents, when they are at the registration center and they don't agree, or they have issues with they think people do not qualify to participate in the registration process, the Electoral Commission has no role in preventing them from filing their challenge. So they only facilitate the process and also facilitate the process leading to the work of the District Registration Review Committee. So I think the Commission doesn't have much to do with that process. I've realized going to the field that sometimes the party agents also challenge people based on the registration officers' answers that they get from the people who appear to be registered. When they see or when they realize that their answers are not adding up, and then there is some kind of suspicion whether the people belong to that area or whether they are of age, then they also have the cause to register a challenge.
Recently, the NIA has begun issuing cards to people who live along the borders. The NDC has not been happy with this, saying that the timing is wrong. What do you make of this? Well,
I mean, I don't know what the issuance of the national identification cards to people change, the kind of change it brings to this game. Already, anyone who appears not to or who doesn't hold a Ghana card or any of the cards that are required for the registration, they find guarantors. And we realize that there are even people on standby who are ready to guarantee for other people, which is very, very unfortunate. So if the NIA has got some cards ready and then they want to give those cards to people, I don't see anything wrong with it. Even though we expected them to have done this earlier to avert the situation where we have people guaranteeing for people that they don't even know. But if they are prepared to do that, then there is no problem.
Grateful for your time. Guilfred Esiama is with CODEO. Let me come back to you, Dr. Osai Kwapong, and ask you the same question about NIA issuing ID cards to people along the border, especially when there's a lot of tension with this registration exercise.
Yes, ultimately, I think it's a good thing because of some of the flaws or imperfections of the guarantor system, that if you have the Ghana card, I think it actually adds to, it makes the process a lot, quote unquote, cleaner, right? It helps you deal with some of the challenges that a guarantor system represents. So I'm not very concerned about that. Just as Guilfred said, I wish that the timing had been much earlier. And so you can only understand why, given the timing, some of these questions would emerge. But I don't personally believe that this raises any cause for alarm.
I'm grateful for your time. Dr. John Osai Kwapong is project. He is actually a CDD fellow in governance. Now, chiefs in the northern region, some of them are calling on the Electoral Commission to take a second look at its machines and manpower deployed to rural northern Ghana for the ongoing regulation exercise. According to the chiefs, CODEO report showed 25% of centers in these areas either did not have indelible ink, incidents of late arrival of limited staff, and the late opening of centers, among others, continue to create overcrowding in the registration centers. The chiefs are therefore calling on the EC to appraise its personnel and machines to complement each center. The chief said this at a press conference in Tamale. Listen.
The press conference brought together chiefs from the 5 regions of the north to make the appeal. They are worried most of their people would be disenfranchised if efforts are not put in place to address these challenges. Speaking at a press conference in Tamale, the chief of Tandawura, Alhaji Mohammed Amin, of the Wasipe Traditional Authority, named lack of electricity technical aspects to fix the kits when they are broken down, limited materials, among others, as challenges being encountered by several centers.
As widely reported, several registration centers experience lack of network coverage and non-functional registration kits, which affected the start of the voter registration exercise. According to CODEO preliminary report, in 20% of centers observed, the kits failed to function at some point in time during the registration. The malfunctioning of BVR kits led to the suspension of registration process in 16% of centers observed. This is more so as these issues tend to be more rampant in rural communities in the northern belt of Ghana. It is no secret that most of the districts in the northern enclave are without electricity.
He also called for the implementation of a continuous registration process to help ease the congestion and chaotic things that are characterized in this limited registration exercise.
It was our expectation that the EC would appraise the personnel and equipment needs of each registration center and deploy staff and equipment commensurate to the expected turnout at each center. Implementing continuous voter registration exercise, we recommend As a long-term measure, the implementation of electoral reforms that will include the adoption of a continuous voter registration exercise. This will ensure that eligible Ghanaians who turn 18 can walk into designated EC offices to get registered with ease and limit the problems associated with dedicating time for registration and its associated inconveniences.
About 5,000 head porters, popularly known as KAYE, are set to undergo skill training programs under the newly launched KAYE Empowerment Program. Beneficiaries will be trained in soap making, beads making, and bakery. They will also be given a monthly allowance of 1,000 cedis for the duration of the training between 1 to 3 months. The center has hostel facilities to house the beneficiaries. The NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who launched the KAYE Empowerment Program, said the program is confident it will transform the lives of the ever-increasing head porters in Accra. The program is under the Youth Employment Agency.
Training and hostel facilities under the KAYE Empowerment Project have been positioned in different parts of Accra and Kumasi. So far, one has been completed and commissioned for use at Medina. We will hear from the beneficiaries shortly, but listen to Kofi Japan, CEO of the YEA, the agency which is leading the implementation of the project, on the objective of it.
Effort between state bodies, private sectors, and civil society organizations is designed to uplift, empower, and provide solutions for our KAYEs. Through the KAYE Empowerment Program, we will provide decent accommodation and equip these women with vital skills, enabling them to secure dignified jobs and support their families. Our program adopts an extensive recruitment process, offering training in crucial skills such as baking, beading, soap making, and many more. Additionally, we cover essential soft skills like personal health care and financial literacy to ensure holistic development.
We can now listen to Sam KAYE expressing gratitude to Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia while endorsing his Breaking the Eight agenda.
2024, it is possible. Bawumia, we are so happy because you try a lot. When we come here, you will find a place for us to sleep and do work. Anybody who wants to learn any work, you can learn. So we are so happy for you. God bless you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate for you, Bawumia. Thank you so much. Don't worry, this 2025 you go win by the grace of God.
Almost 300 people. So almost 300 crowd pay to me Siansa no adwuma we nyina. Ebeboa o man na ebema ahokyere nso eswate.
Oh, we are just saying that, oh, thank you for Bawumia for us because she helped us. We also suffer from this in Kaya. If not, like, we not just get money and take care of ourselves.
We thank Bawumia for what he has done for us. So we thank him, because Kaya is not easy for us to be carrying it every day. And we thank her, we thank him.
Meanwhile, the NPP flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, said, despite the skepticism and criticisms by the pessimists, he knew the policy was going to be possible.
When I made this promise on behalf of government, there were many who thought it was not a realistic promise. They thought it was not possible. They said it was a 419 scheme. But I knew that inshallah, it was possible for us to do it. We had COVID in 2020, and we had to recover from it. And so what we are doing for KAYEs today is part of a whole program of activity of our government to help the poor and the vulnerable. And so you will see why it gives me so much pleasure to be with you today at the launch of the Kaya Empowerment Program. We have proven the naysayers wrong. I am honored to be part of this initiative, which is dedicated to empowering headquarters and offering transitional job pathways and enhancing their socio-economic status.
The main objective of this Kaya Empowerment Project is to empower headquarters across the country with technical and vocational education and training. The program aims to train 5,000 girls between May and November 2024, 600 Kaya per cohort each month. The program will provide practical skills and knowledge to participants, preparing them for specific trades and occupations. Reporting for Joy News, Samuel Mbura.
Let's stay with the NPP because Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia says despite the myriad of challenges facing the free senior high school program, it has taken care of over 1 million students at the senior high level who otherwise would have dropped out. He was interacting with members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs and Queen Mothers. Joy News' Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia began his last day of his two-day campaign tour of the Upper West region with a breakfast meeting with the leadership of the clergy to inform them about his vision for the country. He enumerated over 30 policies that he has carried out as vice president, which are of enormous benefit to the people. On the free senior school policy, he stated that despite the challenges that it has been dealt with, but it has gotten maze of students into senior high schools which otherwise would have dropped out. He disclosed that the 5 northern regions are the biggest beneficiaries of the policy.
One of the things that I like about the free senior high school education, and of course it isn't perfect, they still have issues to deal with it, there's no doubt about it. But one of the things I like about free senior high school education is that it has increased access, giving our children opportunities to go to school. When we came in 2016, you had only 800,000 students in senior high school. 800,000. That means for the 60 years of independence from 1957 to 2016, 60 years of independence, you have 800,000 population in senior high school. When we implemented free senior high school education from 2017, by 2023, that is 7 years later, the population in senior high school had increased from 800,000 to 1.4 million. And what is even more important in this enrollment is that the majority, the highest proportion of senior high school educational enrollment, the highest, is coming from the 5 northern regions.
Interacting with members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, Dr. Bawumia noted that one of the biggest challenges facing the region is the poor nature of the roads. Worst among them is the Wabombe Road, which he promised to give a facelift to by giving it an asphalt overlay before the end of the year.
Sunyani all the way to the road, I think we are going to see some major improvement in this major road. I've been talking to the Minister for Roads about this major road that is coming all the way from Sunyani to Wa. And I want to see a dramatic improvement. Not only just quota, I want to see asphalt all the way. Asphalt all the way. So this is something that I'm expecting to be done, not after the election, but before. Before the election. I don't want to say, vote for me and then I'll make it happen. I want to say, I want it to be done so that you will see that it is done before we even get to the election.
The NPP 2024 flag bearer then rolled out into the Central Business District and into the Wadili Market for a walkabout. Dr. Bawumia ended his tour at the SDDU-based multipurpose auditorium, and that was where he took a jab at his main opponent in the election.
My main opponent, as you know, he has been president before, so we know his handwriting. We know what he did as president. He failed. So we voted him out in 2016. He came back again. We voted him out again. But he doesn't want to listen. He wants to come back again. So we should vote him out again so that he'll go and rest very, very well.
Also present at the function was the National Youth Organizer of the NPP, Salam Mustafa.
I want to see a leader who can guarantee you a job place when you finish school. I want to see a leader who, when we put the resources of this state, will not steal, but use it in the best interest of the people. I want to see a leader who thinks about the tomorrow. I want to see a leader who is prepared to sacrifice all his interests to ensure that this country is well and able and capable of taking care of its citizens. And that person is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Reporting for J News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
And that's how we wrap up Election Brief. It's on your election headquarters. Election headquarters is for an informed electorate. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. So enjoy the rest of our programs.